Hey, my name is Aaron Burke. Welcome to Made for More. We put out new episodes every single month to help leaders in the church world, business world, nonprofit industry. And I really hope and pray that these episodes are helping you. We do it different almost every month. Sometimes I'm interviewing a high-level leader, but this month I'm giving you something that is really fresh on my heart, something I'm working with our organization, the church that I run, and I hope it helps you. I want to talk to you today about staffing and really finding the ideal staff members. I don't think there's a more crucial decision that leaders make than who they hire and how they develop the people that they hire. Most of our staffing issues that have ended bad are because they started bad. It ends bad because we hired the wrong person. So let me tell you a little bit of our history. Katie and I, my wife and I, we started the church 12 years ago, and it was just us for a long time. And we brought in some kind of people on stipend or part-time to really help us within the church, but we didn't have a full-time staff member till we were multiple years into the church. I think the church was over 700 people before we hired anyone full-time, because I was so slow about hiring because I knew how vital that decision was. And since we have started the church, now we have about 130 people on our staff. 3 of those people report to me, but in this church itself, we have 2 different major teams, and one of the people that report to me, which is our chief of staff, oversees those teams. So one of them is our location pastors. Those are the pastors that are responsible for each of our campuses, and then one of those teams is called our central leadership team. Between those 2 teams, there's about 20 people. Those 20 people are responsible for all of the hiring. What I found in our church is that those 20 people who I'm connected with, there's very little turnover. They produce a lot for the church. They're very healthy in their family and how they work. But then I realized there a lot of the turnover and the issues were happening underneath them, the real entry-level positions. And I realized I hadn't developed a culture where I had trained people on what I'm looking for hiring. Now I had hired all of those people, but those underneath them, I was disconnected from. So I came up with this framework that I presented to them to make sure we understand what it means to hire the right staff member. 4 things you're looking for, and I hope these 4 things help you. And really, I want you to adapt them to whatever organization you're in, because I really believe they're non-negotiable if you're going to have the ideal staff member on your team. And by the way, what we did with our team is, as I presented it to them, is we gave kind of an evaluation for them to see in their own life, how are they doing in each of these areas and which one do they need to grow in. And I think good evaluation is always necessary to help your organization get healthier and healthier. So let's run through all 4 of these, and I think they'll help you today. The first one is character. You're looking for a staff member that has character. Character is who you really are, especially when you're not in front of people. Character is not your potential, your gifting, your personality. Character is who you consistently are over time, especially under pressure. And we've all had that person on our staff that had a scenario come up or some major tense moment that came up, and there was a side of them that came out that you go, whoa, I didn't know that was there. Or sadly, we know that there's all those people that you've had on your team, or maybe even leadership, that you come to find out that there's some morality issue, there's some ethical issue that was going on behind the scenes, and you've had to remove them from that place of leadership. What happened? They lacked character. And really, character is a non-negotiable when it comes to being on staff, and really especially being on staff at a church. So leaders with low character create short-term results but long-term damage. I'm going to say that again. Leaders with low character create short-term results, but long-term damage. So when I'm thinking through character, I'm thinking of people who have been time-tested. So they're not the newest person on the team. They're not the quickest person to show up or the first person to apply, or this isn't the first job for them. I'm looking for someone that's been time-tested, someone that's trustworthy, someone that's spiritually grounded. And character is really revealed through patterns, not moments. And you got to look back over their life and see, do they have patterns of character? Anyone can impress you for a season, but only character sustains with that level of influence over time. So I'm looking at longevity of this. At Radiant and our church, character is so vitally important because it only takes one person that lacks character to make us end up on the front page of the news. And I just really want to make sure that character is something that is investigated. It is researched. We make sure that it is something that is not just what they're presenting to us, but it's who they really are behind the scenes. And really, it's someone's character is what qualifies you to lead before competency ever does. My big challenge for people is that we don't have a culture where people have the charisma that'll bring them to the top without the character that it takes to keep them there. And that is vitally important, that character is developed, and that is really developed through tough seasons, through longevity. It's not developed overnight. So how do we test for it? Because skill can be taught, but character, you have to really test for it. You have to look a little closer. So I'm going to give you some tricks on making sure you develop a culture where you hire people with character. So first of all, let me just ask you yourself, are you a person of character? Are you the real deal behind the scenes? Are you putting on a facade? Are you putting on a face for a group of people? Or are you the real deal? Make sure that if you want a culture of character, you've got to be a person of character yourself. So I ask myself these types of questions like, do people trust me with information? Do I keep my lips sealed? Am I responsible? Do people trust me with influence in their life? Am I the same person in private that I am in public? How do I respond when I'm corrected or confronted? You will realize a lot about people when you confront them or you correct them. In my walk with God, is he able to work on things that are below the surface, things that nobody sees? Am I faithful with the things that nobody sees? That's really my character when it comes to how I spend my money, the movies that I watch, the things that I entertain myself with. That's really your character. Are you proud of who you are behind the scenes? If you'll work on who you are behind the scenes, God will promote you in front of everybody else. So work on your character. Here's some hiring evaluation questions when you're looking at people to hire is, has this person been faithful where they are now? Have they gone from job to job to job? Or have they gone from assignment to assignment? Or do they have a track record, a pattern of faithfulness? Do they take responsibility or shift blame? It's a big deal, especially in the last season they were in. I always ask questions like, well, what happened with that job? If they take responsibility, then I go, oh, I see they're a person of character. If it's always the previous employer's fault, I think, maybe there's an area of character that's missing here. Here's another one. Do their references consistently describe them as trustworthy and consistent? I am shocked with the amount of people that leave our staff, go get a job somewhere else, and that next employer never calls us. Because if they called me, I would tell them all the behind the scenes. Call references. References are vitally important. And if their references have gaps in them, like there's been 5 to 7 years, you go, well, what happened between those 5 to 7 years? Oh, I worked somewhere else. Well, I want that reference. Well, that one didn't end well. Well, I want to know why it didn't end well, and I want their side of the story. You're looking for areas where character is lacking because that will reveal a lot. You want to know, are they the real deal behind the scenes? If possible, interview their family. Especially for us when we're hiring a pastor on our staff, we're always going to interview the spouse. If their kids are older, we're going to interview their kids. We want to know, who is this person really behind the scenes? Look for character. Secondly, you're going to look for competency. This is vitally important. Can they do the job and can they grow with the organization? You see, competency is the ability to get the job done today while having the capacity to grow into what the role will require tomorrow. Let me say that again. Competency is the ability to get the job done today while having the capacity to grow into what the role will require tomorrow. And I don't want to hire someone just for today. I want to hire them for where we are going. So if they're maxed out right now, I know the organization is only going to grow. So I don't want them stressed out now, knowing that it's only going to get worse in the future. So what I want to do is hire some people with capacity, and that is really found in, do they have the competency to do the job, and do they have the competency to grow? Because potential without skill always creates frustration. And you'll see that within the organization, especially if you hire someone because you like them or you feel like you owe something to them. What people are going to find out is that, man, we're frustrated because our boss hired somebody that's now dragging all of us down, and we're frustrated about it because the person might have had great character but didn't have the competency to get the work done. When I think of competency, I think of, can they build it where it needs to go? Are they willing to grow? Like, do they have a lifestyle where they're craving more knowledge, more information about how it can grow? Are they skilled? Are they teachable type people? Are they humble in what they're doing and craving more? Are they asking good questions? This is what I look for when I look for competency. So let me evaluate yourself in this and just challenge you on self-evaluation. First of all, it's that, are you a competent staff member for the organization you're in? Are you constantly growing? Or are you relying on past experience? And I've had to catch myself. The longer I'm in this, the more I rely on the past experience instead of being fresh, having a cutting edge of what it takes to lead in today's age, in an age of technology that is rapidly advancing, and AI and what's going on in politics in the world. I want to make sure I'm not leading the same way I led in 2013 when we started the church. The world has changed, and the world rapidly changes. So I want to make sure I have competency for today. Do I ask good questions, or do I pretend that I already know answers because I want to save face or my pride gets in the way? No, I want to continually live in a way that I'm asking good questions. Can I receive feedback without becoming defensive? I've had to check myself in this. Like, our greatest staff members receive feedback without getting defensive. And am I building systems and solutions for the problems of today? Like, am I a competent person that is solving problems? This is what it takes to move the organization forward. I'm not just maintaining what exists. So here's some hiring evaluation questions. Can the person grow with the organization? Do they have the capacity to get where you're going in the next 3 to 5 years? Or are you just simply trying to fill a spot? Have they demonstrated curiosity and adaptability? I think this is so vital. When you look at their past experience, or if they've been volunteering with you, have they shown curiosity? Have they brought ideas to the table? Do they have adaptability? Are they okay with change? This is so vital in a culture where it's looking for competency. Here's the other one is, have they built or improved something before, not just inherited something great? Like, I want someone that has taken something and built it and then got bored because they built it to its capacity and now looking for the next challenge. That's a competent person instead of a person that could never make it work at the last job. Look for people of competency. Number 3, this is so vital. I'm looking for people with chemistry. This is how they affect the people that they work with. I wrote it down this way. Chemistry is the ability to work well with others and make the team better. I love that. It's the ability to work well with others and make the team better. And you know those people that just bring chemistry to the organization. They make it fun. They make it enjoyable. They're not socially awkward. You see, when I think of chemistry, I think of people that work well with others. They're not isolated by themselves and frustrated by change. I'm thinking they're okay with working with different people. They want to hang out after work. They want to connect in a way that is beyond just work, but more relational. It's the chemistry factor. They desire unity. They're not always in drama. This is so vital because I've realized that teams are made or broken based on the unity of that team. And unity is all dependent on the chemistry of the team. Can they laugh together? I remember years ago, I hired someone and their response was, I just didn't think that y'all would make this many kind of edgy jokes where y'all laugh a lot. Like, I think you could get a lot more work done if y'all didn't joke around as much, especially about each other. And I remember responding like, you're not going to do well here, because the chemistry of our team is that we can laugh at each other. We can laugh at me. Like, we're going to have a good time. We're going to spend a lot of time with food. We're going to spend a lot of time hanging out. We might jump in the car and go to Disney, and I want to be able to do that with you. And if I can't, that's because we lack chemistry. We want to be able to solve problems together. We want someone that adds energy to the team, not adds tension to the team. That is a person of chemistry. And chemistry is often underestimated, but it really determines whether a team enjoys working closely together or simply tolerates each other. So one person that doesn't have good chemistry can destroy the whole team. So make sure that you are hiring people that you connect with. Doesn't mean that every person on your team has to be your best friend. It doesn't mean that you'll go on vacation with everybody on your team. What it does mean is that that person is enjoyable to work with. You have those people that produce a lot, but they also are very frustrating, and they have a lot of people that are injured along the way. And I have realized, playing this thing the long game, that it is better to people that produce less. They have a little bit less competency, but higher chemistry. Then we can achieve more as a team than one person could do alone. That's better than the person that is highly competent, but nobody can get along with them. Be a person that has chemistry. So let me give you some self-evaluation questions. Do people feel better or heavier after interacting with me? Think about that. Like, do they feel better? Is the team better? Or do they think, oh man, they're coming in, this is going to be something that's heavy? So that's a person with chemistry. Am I quick to reach out to people when there's tension? Like, or am I slow to forgive? Do I hold resentment and get bitter? Like, I want a person on my team, when I think they have chemistry, I'm thinking that if there's a problem, we address it head on, which is the next question. Do I seek unity, or do I need to be right all the time? That's a frustrating thing, to have a person on your team that has to be right all the time. So sometimes you just got to give up and go, no, I'm here for the sake of the unity of the team. I wrote it down this way. Am I a non-anxious presence? Like, do I come in a room and people are going, I'm glad they're there? Or do I walk in a room and people all of a sudden tense up and go, oh no, he's here? You don't want to be that person. This is how we create a culture where there's chemistry on the team. I'm looking for some crucial things that indicate chemistry. How does this person talk about past team members or leaders? If they talk about how there was always conflict, or they talk about how frustrated they always were, then I wonder if they're the problem in this scenario. I always give the example, if Jessica has a problem with Sally, and Jessica has a problem with Robert, and Jessica has a problem with Fred, then Jessica is the problem. And sometimes people will go from job to job, team to team, because they don't know how to have good chemistry with people, how to have a good emotional quotient with people, to really learn how to deal with people in a God-honoring way that's fun, but also productive. So how do they talk about the past? Do they take ownership of conflict, or do they blame other people? How do they get along with their family? What's their relationship like with their parents? People go, well, I'm great. I can't wait to work with you. And I go, well, tell me about your family. Oh, I haven't talked to my siblings in 5 years. Why is that? Oh, they made me mad a few Christmases ago, and I don't want anything to do with them. And I'm going, wow, that's pretty intense. I mean, I don't know if that's a deal breaker, but I'm wondering, do I want somebody on my team that can't even have chemistry with their family, let alone chemistry within the workplace? So I'm looking for this. Would this person raise or lower the emotional health of my team? And that determines the chemistry factor. It's vitally important. The last one is very unique to every organization, but I put it in there because it's vital. It is culture. So let me recap before I give you what culture is. I'm looking for people with character. They have to be the real deal. They have to be able to handle well things under pressure. Second one, I'm looking for competency. I'm looking for people that can get the job done, not just for where we are, but where the organization is going. I'm looking for people of chemistry, that they are someone that brings life to the team and they are a person that you want to be around. And number four, their culture. What culture is do they represent the organization well? Cultural fit is really not about style or personality. It's about alignment with your mission, your values, and your vision. And culture is really not even what you say. It's what you consistently reinforce as a culture, as an organization. And when I think of those things, especially when I think of them as our organization for Radiant, I'm thinking, are they a cultural fit for us? Because they can be a great church staff member at a different church, but are they a staff member that would fit into this culture? Culture matters, and who you hire either enforces the culture or diminishes the culture. So when I think of culture, I think of, are they us? Are they us? Are they the type of people that God has put together to build what you're called to build? Do they live out the values naturally, or do they have to work on these values? So we have 5 crucial leadership values of our church, and I think of those values and I go, do they live that out in their life? Or are they going to have to work on living those things out? And the people that live those things out are our culture. Do they represent the mission well? Do they actually care about the mission? Or are they trying to get a job? I don't want someone that just wants a job. I want someone that'll push the mission forward. So I'm looking at a cultural fit. Are they someone that I can build this thing with for years and decades to come? And this is so vital because culture is built by what leaders celebrate and tolerate, and that includes the staff that you hire. Here's your self-evaluation. Would I want 5 more people like me on the team? This is so vital because many times we're trying to staff who we're not. But if we had 5 more of you, would the organization be deeper ingrained in the culture, or would it be so scattered and so different? And really, we want to hire people that are the culture of the organization, of the church. So check yourself, like, am I that? Do I represent the mission well when things are stressful or inconvenient? There's so many times that people are looking at you when things go wrong. And I wonder, are they looking at you and going, that's exactly how we should handle it? That's the culture we carry. Make sure you challenge yourself in this. Am I proud of the culture I help create? Or do you create a culture that's sideways energy or kind of off-centered, or you're always trying to fix things because you think you can do it better? Man, be the culture of the organization, what it's trying to go towards. You should embody that. Here's some hiring evaluation questions, and then we'll close this out for today. Does this person naturally embody our values? This is so huge. Like, are they what we're looking for as they are right now, not who we want them to be? Do they speak about the mission with belief and passion? If you talk to them, like, what do you think is the mission of our organization? Do they talk about it with passion? Do they light up about it? That's so huge. Would they strengthen or dilute the current culture? And I want to hire people that strengthen our culture, not people that are going to dilute it. So let me just close with this statement. Who you hire is vitally important. Look for ideal staff members. And for the staff that you have, develop them in these 4 crucial things: character, competency, chemistry, and culture. Because at Radiant, we're building the church through people. And when you get staffing wrong, the mission doesn't go forward. When you get staffing right, the mission accelerates. So let me give you this final thought. When you understand that somebody that you have on your team is not the ideal staff member and they will never become it, the quicker you can make the change, the better. Let me say it this way: hire slow and fire fast. I don't fire a lot of people, But when I have had to let somebody go, it is usually 6 months to a year too late. I should have done it way beforehand. And I delay because we love people. We want to believe the best. We hope they can change. But when the writing is on the wall, make the quick decision, because when you keep them around, what you're actually doing is you're hurting the entire staffing culture by keeping somebody around that is not the ideal person. And really, what I have found is that the ideal person won't come on your team until you let that problem staff member go. I hope this episode has helped you. We put out new episodes every single month, so make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it on your social media. Tag me. I'd love to repost it. I love it when people continually grow as leaders, because really, God is doing incredible things in your organization, and there's incredible things in your future. If you will continue to grow, you'll walk into all that God has for you. I'll talk to you next month on Made for More.